Welcome to the Travel Man Podcast. I hope everyone is feeling great today. And if you're like me and you're from the Southern Hemisphere, then all you want is to see winter done and dusted. Yes, I've had enough of winter and I don't really like it. It's not my favorite month of the year. So join me for a very appropriate podcast. I'm sure it will warm you up, and I'm going to attempt to bring spring forward by 2 weeks. And I'll be discussing cherry blossoms in Japan with my brother Patrick. And I know everyone loves cherry blossoms in Japan. So if you've never been to Japan, then listen now, and we're going to talk all about Japan, because Pat's a guy that loves Japan, knows a lot about Japan, not so much about the blossoms, although he always does enjoy seeing the flowering trees and the beautifully trimmed trees when he is in Japan, and he's not much of a green thumb. So enjoy. What was that, Tron?
You talk.
Everyone knows you by Tron now. We're here. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thanks for popping over.
No worries, Penny. Good to be back.
Yeah, great to be back. It's been a while. It was like last year, probably when I first started this thing.
Yeah, I think I was drunk last time.
Nah, you were all right. We were in a different spot, and we had a different setup, which wasn't that great. But now this setup's a lot better.
You've spent a lot more money.
Well, that's what happens. You got to spend money to make a good setup,
I suppose.
It's true. So, well, let's get into it. You went to the cherry blossoms in Japan last year, wasn't it?
No, it was this year.
Was it this year? Oh, it must have been, because it was spring, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Zoe.
With Zoe.
In
which part of Japan?
March, April. We were there.
Oh, yeah.
So bang on, perfect time to go for cherry blossoms.
March, April.
Yeah.
What about May?
No.
So
end of March,
it.
early April is cherry blossoms. So
Yeah.
there's about a 2-week period, which is just the perfect time to go. And we got lucky because we were in Japan for 3 weeks, so we got lucky. We were there perfectly, pretty much, for cherry blossoms.
Okay.
Just starting when we arrived, and then by the time we got to Tokyo, because we started down south and then made our way back up north to Tokyo.
Yep.
It was just perfect timing for cherry blossoms.
Okay.
Everywhere.
I would have thought that depending on the region in Japan, you'd have cherry blossoms going off at different stages.
Yeah, you do. It starts off down
south, Kyushu.
Well, yes and no. Kyushu.
Kyushu.
Kyushu. I'm pretty sure it's Kyushu. It's definitely not Kyushu.
Well, that's just phonetically how I say it.
But anyway, generally speaking, it starts where it's warmer first.
Fair
so
enough.
Those areas will blossom first, just like it does here in Melbourne.
And then it makes its way up.
And then it makes
north.
its way up north. So Sapporo up north is the last.
That's very north, isn't it?
Yeah, really north. So that probably doesn't blossom until, like end of April.
Yeah,
whereas you might start
April.
to get some blossoms at the end of March down south.
All right. No, that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure.
Where have you gone to the furthest part south to view the blossoms, or have you only viewed them near Tokyo?
As far as you can go on like the main islands, so obviously not including Okinawa and all the islands, but the main islands, which is Kyushu and Honshu. So that's where we were again.
Oh, yeah, part of me thinks that Okinawa wouldn't have any cherry blossoms because of the tropical climate.
I think they would still have cherry blossoms.
It depends, because cherries like to grow in temperate climates, and I would say Okinawa would be subtropical to tropical, because
Not
it is
sure.
far south.
Never been there, so I wouldn't know, but
It's
maybe.
the Hawaii of Japan. Apparently it's very good.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll have to put that on my bucket list to get down to Okinawa
me
one day.
too. That'd be good.
So you started in the southern part of Japan, which is Kyushu.
Kyushu's the island, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So we flew into Tokyo.
Yep.
One night in Tokyo, stayed at this hotel called Villa Fontaine.
Oh, yeah, that sounds very Japanese.
And then went down south to Fukuoka.
Fukuoka.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Nice.
We were there for 3 nights, and then we went to...
So did you see cherry blossoms in Fukuoka?
Yeah, it was just starting. Just a few were popping out.
So the buds were just starting?
Just starting.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't amazing photos, but a few trees had... a few trees are weird, and they're in full bloom before everything else. And it also depends on what kind of cherry blossom trees, because there's the white flowers, there's the pink flowers... and everything in between.
And what flowers were flowering? Do you remember? Did you get an assortment?
I think they're like plum and cherry trees.
Plum and cherries, yeah.
Plum and cherry. Right. I guess some other fruit trees. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But so we're in Fukuoka. That was just starting there. Then we went to Hiroshima, and that was starting to be almost in full bloom.
Wow.
Probably a few days off full bloom, so that was perfect timing for Hiroshima, and we were there for 3 nights as well, and then we're in Osaka for 3 nights.
So you're moving back north.
We're going north from here, yeah. So starting south, Fukuoka, and then to Hiroshima, and then keep going northeast to Osaka.
Yep.
And we went to the castle, Osaka Castle, which is one of the best castles in Japan. And that was just amazing because they've literally got thousands of cherry blossoms surrounding the whole castle.
Wow, that'd be pretty cool.
And there's just thousands of people having their hanami parties where you lay down the tarp and you just drink beers and eat food under the cherry blossom trees.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's an awesome vibe through Japan that time of year, but really, really, really busy.
Be nice weather.
Perfect weather. It was like awesome. 30 degrees every day.
Yeah, 30 degrees.
Oh, it was...
not low 20s?
No, sorry, maybe 20s. Sorry, mid to high 20s.
Okay.
Almost every day.
Wow, that sounds really nice.
Tokyo was a bit cooler. The first day we arrived, Tokyo was about 1 degrees and snowing.
Wow.
But we went to Hiroshima and it was about 20 degrees, and then it steadily got warmer. So it was upwards of 25 by the time we're in...
Wow.
Back in Tokyo 3 weeks later.
What was the time difference between you arriving in Tokyo and getting back to Tokyo? Was it like a couple of weeks?
What do you mean?
As in, you arrived in Tokyo and it was 1 degrees.
Yeah.
And then you arrived back into Tokyo.
Oh, it was 2 weeks probably.
So it took 2 weeks for it to warm back up to 20.
Oh, maybe it wasn't high 20s actually. Maybe I'm thinking of last time. Actually, no, it would have been just in the 20s. Yeah, sorry, low 20s. Low 20s.
Considering it's spring, otherwise.
But it was perfect weather. I mean, when you're walking around doing stuff, one day in Osaka it got warm. I remember that. It was about 25 degrees in Osaka.
T-shirt weather.
Yeah, T-shirt, shorts, thongs. It was awesome.
Nice. Nice.
And then, so 3 days in Osaka, and then back to Tokyo for a week to view the cherry blossoms in Tokyo.
Was there a certain place in Osaka other than the castle that you viewed cherry blossoms?
That was really the main place, the Osaka Castle, and then there's pockets of cherry blossoms everywhere.
And going back on what you said about Hiroshima, is there a certain area in Hiroshima?
Again, the castle, Hiroshima Castle, has awesome cherry blossoms. There's also a few parks in Hiroshima.
Yep.
Can't remember what it was called, the parks in Hiroshima, but I can probably find out.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's a particular park in Hiroshima which is worth
and that's worth a visit.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And that the gate, I forgot what it's called. There's a gate that you viewed, which is quite a famous gate. It's a big red gate.
Miyajima.
Miyajima?
Miyajima.
Is that near Hiroshima?
Yeah, that's near Hiroshima. That's pretty easy to get to. It's like 45 minutes on the train.
So if you're in Hiroshima...
You just go to the station.
Yep, beautiful.
Get on a train.
Yep.
Takes half an hour, 40 minutes, can't remember. and then you catch a ferry across if you've got the JR pass,
Yeah.
which most travellers do. You don't pay anything. The JR pass includes the ferry, and you go to the island, and then you see all the deers on the island.
Oh, yeah, that's where you feed all the
That's
deers.
where you. Oh no, that's not where you feed the deers.
No.
There's that place is near Osaka, but
Right,
there are
okay.
deers all over this island. But everyone goes to the island not for the deers, but to see the gate, the
Miyajima Gate. And is there blossoms on and around Miyajima Island, or
Yeah, there was bits and pieces around there. Not a lot
but
though. It was
the highlight's a gate.
the highlights the gate, yeah. And then for us, the key, everything was starting to get into full bloom,
Full gloom.
full bloom. The second and
Yep.
third week we were there.
So everything was just out. Even
Yeah, it was amazing.
even the shrubs were out.
Yeah,
all the
everything's-
flowers and the
everything's
shrubs, like
starting
the
to flower.
azaleas, are out.
Yeah, there's not. You mainly just see the cherry blossoms because they're
It's
just
more
everywhere.
about the cherry
It's
blossoms.
phenomenal.
Okay.
And that park
Yep.
I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think we need some music. While
but yeah,
Patrick's looking
Hiroshima
up.
Castle is a good place to go
Hiroshima
for the cherry
Castle?
blossoms.
Okay.
Also around the Hiroshima Peace Park.
Yeah.
The memorial. There's from the A bomb.
The
There's
A-bomb.
There's a lot of cherry blossoms
around
there
that
as well.
park. So near the A-bomb memorial. Okay, that sounds really interesting.
Shukeien Garden.
Shukeien Garden. So if people
Shukeien.
want to look up Shukeien Garden
Yeah, that's really amazing. It runs along the river
in Hiroshima.
in Hiroshima, along the Enko River, has a big lake in the central part. Lots of,
Is that a strolling path?
it's
you can-
paths all through there. It's really
Beautiful.
quite nice.
Beautiful.
And it's not far from, downtown sort of Hiroshima.
Okay, so we've talked about Hiroshima, we've talked about Osaka, the cherry blossoms there, talked about Fukuoka's cherry blossoms. From Osaka, where did you go? Did you go to Kyoto at all?
No,
to see
we
the
went
cherry
to
blossoms?
Nara, though. From Osaka, we went to Nara, which is where you feed the deer.
So, okay.
It's like
that would have been fantastic.
It's a tiny little town, but everyone goes there to
Feed them little
the deer.
biscuits, don't you?
Yeah, you feed them these little
That you purchase.
yeah, I don't know what kind of biscuits, like just really thin biscuits.
Yeah.
And the deers bow their
nice.
head, and you feed them.
Really? They say thank you.
Yeah, sort of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you feed them, and then there's also some
Cherry blossoms as
shrines
well around
and
there.
things, old shrines and stuff around
Okay.
there. A few cherry
Okay.
blossom trees around as well.
So other than the deer feeding, what's there to do in Nara?
Nothing really. It's just Nara's really just for the Nara Deer Park.
Okay, so you go there just for the deer
Just
park.
for the deer park. And it's
Is there any eating around
about 40 minutes from
40 minutes?
Osaka
on a train?
on a train.
The Shinkansen?
No, not a Shinkansen,
Some
just a local
domestic
sort of train.
local
Yeah,
train.
local train. And
Okay.
then, there's places to eat in Nara, but
Yeah.
most people just go there, come back to Osaka, and then
So
eat.
it's like a little, not even a day trip from Osaka?
Yeah, it's just a short day trip.
Okay, it's a short day trip that you
half
could probably
day.
mix in with something else.
True, yeah, you could probably do that. And then the other place we went to
Fantastic.
Kobe
Kobe.
from Osaka, and
Where they
Kobe
do
is
the
known
beef.
for the beef. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Kobe steak.
beef. Yeah, beautiful.
So we went there, and there's this awesome garden way up on a mountain.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing. And how do you get to the garden?
You take a
Funicular?
chairlift, sort of
chairlift.
gondola,
like a
gondola you'd have,
self-enclosed.
Yep. Fully enclosed gondola.
I hate those
like
things.
you see at the ski
I
resorts.
really dislike them.
And you go all the way up to the top of the hill, and then you stroll down through gardens all the way. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And from there, you have amazing views of Kobe.
Wow.
You can see everything. The port, because it's a big port town.
Yeah.
You see everything. It's quite phenomenal.
Is it quite high up?
Yeah, it's pretty high. Kobe.
Talking about gondolas, I was on a gondola in Langkawi Island.
Oh, really?
It really scared the crap out of me, to be honest with you. I'd never been on something that scared me so much, as it was quite windy, and apparently the Langkawi Island gondola, I think that's what you'd call them, is the steepest in the world.
Really?
So, yeah, it's, I don't know what it is, a 90-degree gradient or something.
Whereabouts?
Langkawi Island.
Oh, what? And it just goes straight up?
It just goes straight up. So if it's nearly vertical. It's nearly a vertical lift.
Jeez.
Slightly, like, not vertical. But it was so scary, and I think one of the things that made it even scarier was the wind, because the wind was just tapping it around, and there was hundreds of meters underneath you. So if the thing ever snapped, you'd be a goner. But those type of things
they don't
really
snap,
scare
those
me.
gondolas are pretty safe.
Yeah, but they just look like they're just sitting on top of a wire. You wonder how it's attached.
There's all fail-safes and stuff. You should.
I'm sure there is. But
I've never seen footage of a gondola.
But I've seen footage of someone on a chairlift go down.
Oh yeah, people fall off chairlifts all the time.
And even chairlifts fall off their.
I don't know about
their cables.
I doubt it.
Anyway,
so this it's called a herb garden. It's called the Nuno Bicky Herb Garden.
Nuno Bicky Herb Garden.
Yeah, and you get off at Shin Kobe Station, or one of the Kobe stations if you're coming from Osaka.
Yeah.
And then you walk up to the gondola, take the gondola up, and then there's this awesome herb garden at the top. And then you just stroll down all the way down, and when you get to the bottom, you catch the gondola back down, because there's multiple entry points for the gondola.
Do you have to take the gondola if you're a good walker or a hiker? Can you hike up?
Yes, there is. There's a massive walk from the base.
That would be cool.
Which locals do.
Which I'm sure would
probably take you
a couple of hours.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
At least, because it must be.
And it'd be a challenging.
Must be about a K to the top, which means, given it's windy, it's probably going to be
more 3Ks, 4Ks, 5Ks. Yeah. And all uphill.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But some people catch the gondola up and walk down, or they'll walk up and then catch the gondola down.
Okay, fair enough. So, after you did Nara...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Kobe. Actually, tell me where exactly Kobe is located.
Kobe's about like an
in
hour
relation to
west
Osaka.
of Osaka.
Right.
And then Nara's east.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Let me check that. Yeah.
That's all right. In Kobe, is there anything else to do?
There's like the port city, so we went down there. So it's like a harbour sort of city. It's called Harbourland.
And do they have the fishmongers there?
It's like more
cutting up
your
fish
retail shops, restaurants, things like that. Lots of families, and it's just you view all the port area. But you can also get steak everywhere in Kobe.
I was about to ask you that, because people would get angry at me if I didn't ask you if you ate the beef.
Yeah, we went to a place and had the lunch. A lot of them have like a lunch set plate sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
and it's just steak, literally steak with a bit of rice, some
nothing in noodles, pickles with a broth.
No, it's literally just steak, like we do steak in the West.
Really? So they do Western-styled steak, in a sense?
That's how they eat it, yeah, steak.
Oh, okay. I thought they would probably shear it off the bone or something and put it in a soup.
If it's that expensive, you wouldn't want to be doing that, though. The idea is you just cut it up, it comes out on a sizzling plate, all cut up nicely, and you just eat it with some soy or garlic, whatever they give you.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, it's delicious, but very expensive.
And, okay, well then from Kobe, where'd you go?
So from Kobe, we went back to Osaka, because that was just a day trip.
That was a day trip, okay.
We were there for 3 days.
Yep.
And, and then after that, so we went to Nara one day, we went to Kobe one day.
Yep.
Went to the castle. And then after that, went to Tokyo. We were in Tokyo for 7 days.
Jeez.
And then, so pretty much 3 days Fukuoka, 3 days Hiroshima, 3 Osaka.
Yep.
And then, 10... Oh,
10...
I can't remember. 7 or 10 days in Tokyo. We're there for a long time in Tokyo.
So what did you do in Tokyo, exactly?
Just all sorts of stuff. Just went to all the different station areas. Went to all the parks because it's cherry blossom time.
What do you mean station areas? What do you mean by that?
Each station has an area. Like
it's a
Akihabara
few-
is electronics.
Oh, right, yeah, I see what you
Shinjuku
mean.
and Shibuya is like shopping and restaurants. Harajuku is like all hipster sort of fancy cafes and stuff like that. Went to a bunch of different sort of places that we hadn't been to before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then what else did we do? Went go-karting in Tokyo as well. On the very last day, we went go-karting. So to wrap up the trip.
Wrap off the trip.
Wrap off the trip, that's
You
it.
went go-karting.
Yeah, that was awesome. Go-karting through Tokyo.
Yeah, I want to try that.
It's called Mari Kart.
Because it's Mario Kart.
Yeah, and everyone dresses up in... They've got all the suits ready, so you can dress up as Mario or...
I want to be Donkey Kong.
Or Donkey Kong or whatever you want. They've got... they must have 20 different costumes.
What were you dressed up as? Wario
Just
or
Mario.
something? Oh, Mario.
And then Zoe was some sort of dinosaur? I can't remember.
Zoe was a dinosaur.
The dinosaur...
I remember the character. It's a green dinosaur.
Yeah, the green one.
Yeah. No, I haven't played Mario Kart or Mario Brothers in a long time, so I forgot all the names.
And then you've got a tour guide, and basically he makes sure it's all very safe. But you drive all around Tokyo. So if you've never been to Tokyo, I'd probably recommend doing it the first day you go there.
Only because it shows you the sights.
Because it shows you everything that you want to go back to. So you can go, oh, that place is cool, right down that. Well, you can't really write anything down while you're driving, but you get a really sweet tour of the whole of Tokyo.
Is that something that you've got to pre-book well in advance?
Yeah, you want to book it a couple of weeks in advance at least.
And how many cars are there usually?
6 in each group.
And how many groups?
Just constantly rotating, about 2 to 3 hours each tour. So
they're on an hourly basis?
They probably do about 3 each driver, each guide would probably do it 3 times a day.
Okay, and how much is it?
I think it's like $50
$50 each
to $100, something like that.
For
I
a
can't
couple,
remember.
or
Each.
$100 Australian. You're talking about.
Yeah, it's a solid.
And how many
2 to
hours?
3 hour trip.
Okay, 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, you stop at a location, take photos as well. At one point, you have a little bit of a break, and then you're just driving around Tokyo.
And how does that go with the traffic in Tokyo? I reckon that would be a bit dodgy.
Japanese drivers are pretty good drivers, so there's not really any issues. And you just...
obviously, the group of drivers or the...
You have a guide who basically keeps you in single file when you're driving through the streets.
Yep.
And then double file when you stop at red lights or things like that.
Okay.
So he will let you know by a signal with his hand because he's always in front.
And there's one cart per person?
Yeah.
Not a double cart for you and Zoe?
One each person.
Do you want to tell me about Zoe's incident?
Yeah, she bumped into a few Korean guys.
and was it okay? Were
it was all right.
They all right?
Fine. They were fine, yeah.
Were they startled?
Just Zoe pressed the accelerator instead of the brake, I think, a couple of times.
I guess that's easy to do.
And one of the Korean blokes, he was just like, he just kept getting banged in the back, and he's like, oh, shit, what's that?
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't have been a nice
it was all
thing to
good.
happen
They
to
were
you.
pretty cool.
Yeah. They're pretty cool guys. And so that's a highlight from
that
your
was
Japan
amazing.
trip
That's
as well as the
definitely-
cherry blossoms. You don't mind cruising around the streets of Tokyo in a go-kart? That sounds pretty fun.
It's just an awesome time to go there, but the only thing I would say as like a tip for people if you're going to go during cherry blossom time is, especially if you're traveling around on the trains, the Shinkansen, from the big towns like Osaka and Kyoto and maybe not so much Hiroshima or Fukuoka, but all the towns around Tokyo, you really want to be booking your train tickets. Book your seats on your train tickets, or on your Shinkansen in advance. So if you know you're going to be travelling on a Shinkansen in 5 days' time to another town, you probably want to book it today.
Okay, so...
Because if you try to just get a ticket on the day, more than likely the trains are sold out.
Okay.
very quickly. So it was pretty frustrating because every time I've been to Japan in the past, it's always been in winter.
Yep.
You don't have any issues, you just jump on the train. But in cherry blossom times, there's lines for the trains always.
Oh, I can understand that. It would be quite busy.
It's hectic. It's quite annoying, but...
How often do the trains come? The Shinkansen, obviously...
Pretty regularly, but most
they'll
people...
be more regularly in the cherry blossom, maybe? Or...
Yeah, but most people have the JR pass, so most of the Westerners have the JR pass.
Okay, so...
And the JR pass only gets you certain Shinkansen.
So that's why you've got a book?
That's why you got to book, because everyone's trying to get on the certain Shinkansen that is included in the JR pass.
So the ones, so the Shinkansens that are included in JR pass, it's all part of the price of the JR pass.
Correct.
And then the ones you're talking about, you've got to pay extra.
No, you don't pay it. So when I say you got to book, it's included. Your booking is free booking, but you want to book your seat. You don't want to just roll up on the day. Exactly. You want to reserve a seat. You know, because if you don't reserve, you'll be potentially just standing in the aisle with a huge bag.
Can you do that? I didn't think
they make you just stand up in the aisle.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you don't have a reserved seat, you're standing in the aisle if it's full.
Is it pretty easy to reserve a seat?
Pretty easy, very
go
easy.
Online?
You just go to the station. No, you just go to the station.
What, a couple of days before?
Yeah,
a week
so if you arrive in a town, say you arrive in Osaka, you're going to be there for 4 days, and you know your next trip in 4 days is Osaka to Kyoto or something, you'd be booking, as you arrive in Osaka, while you're at the station, book for your ticket from Osaka to Kyoto in 4 days' time. Reserve your seats on the train.
Okay.
Which is included in your JR pass.
Gotcha, I got you.
You just want to be a step ahead of everyone else, because otherwise...
But everyone else would know to do that.
Nah, most people don't.
Well, say the average person...
If they've never been to Japan, they just roll up. Most people
and go, I've got my JR pass. Here you go.
I'm sweet. So a lot of people were getting frustrated. You know, people were getting annoyed that they were standing up and going, oh, gee, it's so busy. You know, but that's life.
I can understand how that would be annoying.
That time of year.
For sure.
Yeah, well, if you've got huge backpacks, you don't want to be standing for a 2-hour Shinkansen ride. It's shit house.
And I was going to get back to the cherry blossoms. In Tokyo, is there specific locations where the cherry blossoms are better than others?
There's heaps of locations in Tokyo for it.
All right, so...
But essentially, there's all the major gardens, like Ueno Park.
Ueno Park, yep, I know it. And that has a various assortment of cherry blossoms, I'm guessing?
Yeah, heaps.
Great, and...
There's Shinjuku Gyoen.
Okay, that's another park.
There's the Imperial Palace Park.
Imperial Palace Park, yep.
There's so many different parks. There's Meiji Park is one of the biggest. Yoyogi.
Yoyogi, I know very well. That's huge.
Meiji Shrine inside the Meiji Park and Yoyogi. Yoyogi has heaps of the people having the cherry blossom parties. And actually, if you zoom in on Google Maps of Yoyogi Park, you can actually see all the tarps.
Oh, I see.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you've got limited time in Tokyo, say you've only got 3 or 4 nights, and wow, that's amazing. Patrick's showing me some pictures of the tarps.
It's
zoomed
Google
up.
Maps. So
Google
if
Maps.
you zoom in on Yoyogi Park, you get an idea of what a Hanami party is. That's it.
Okay, well, say if you've got 3 nights or 3 days full total in Tokyo, is there certain parks you'd want to see in spring or not miss out?
Yeah, I'd say go to Yoyogi,
so
definitely.
Go to Yoyogi as number 1.
Probably Shinjuku Gyoen as well.
Shinjuku Gyoen.
And there's one by the port, which is...
And all those parks have cherry blossoms.
Hamariku Gardens as well is awesome.
Okay, so they're the top 3 to see. Hamariku...
In my opinion, but
Yoyogi,
I'm sure there's other ones.
And the other one you just mentioned.
Yeah, Yoyogi Park and Meiji Shrine, which I think is all part of the one park, is awesome. And if you do that park, you can also do all of Harajuku, Ometo Sando, Shibuya, all that area in one day. You'd spend all day in that area.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's great. Did you do any museums or galleries this time?
Nah, we don't usually do museums or galleries.
What? What do you mean?
Can't be bothered.
They're the most fantastic things in the world.
Can't be bothered.
Can't be
Rather
bothered.
be outdoors.
Okay, fair enough. But I like to learn about, the country's culture and the way it ticks,
Yeah, I suppose.
Otherwise, I feel like I'm just...
yeah, but you see that with all the shrines and the temples and the castles.
But it's more the samurai stuff is quite interesting, samurai history of Japan.
For that, you want to go to
that's the type of stuff I like.
Kanazawa has like ninja museums and samurai.
For the listener, where is Kanazawa?
Northeast of Tokyo, up on the coast, near Toyama.
Okay, I know where Toyama is. That's where they do the tyres. So, as we've been talking about Japan, we probably don't want to miss out talking about how devastating the floods were.
Oh, yeah.
Were you in any of those areas that were flood ravaged?
Yeah, I think Hiroshima, was the area
got
that
hit
got
very
flooded.
hard.
But
So I feel very sad for those people.
I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't really read into it too much.
Well, some of the worst floods in Japan's history. I think hundreds of people died.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really sad. So that just happened, say, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
No, I think it was even last week, wasn't it?
Maybe it was
a
last
couple of
week.
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. From the time that we're recording this, which is the 2nd of August.
Yeah.
So there you go. This is recorded the 2nd of August. It probably might not be out. This will be out probably after this Sunday's podcast.
What's this Sunday? What's that?
I have Chris Rainey on. It's Chris
From
Rainey,
Yellow-
myself, and Mandy, Yellow Productions.
Yellow Productions.
And it's the...
Is
the
he down in
podcast.
Melbourne, is he?
No, he's not. It's when we were in San Diego.
Oh,
He was taking us around San Diego, and so I'm posting that. It will be posted this Sunday, so that will be great. But anyway, Tronny, that was fantastic.
No
little
worries.
episode.
Good to be back on the
Yeah,
podcast.
fantastic. I'll get you on again pretty soon. But that was really interesting about the cherry blossoms. We've got many places to visit now, and especially for that traveller who's listening to us, they have a few choices to make.
There's a bit of information there.
Well, as you know, I'm going to Taiwan and Seoul.
Jeez, looking forward to those episodes.
At the end of the year, yeah, I'll probably do some type of episodes. I'm probably going to miss any type of flowering cherries or flowering trees, but that's okay. I think it's
October
autumn.
would be leading into autumn.
Yeah, all the leaves will be falling off all the trees, so it'll be really nice.
It's
and
quite
Seoul and
tropical though, Taiwan. So
Seoul will be cold.
That'll be chilling right down. Yeah.
It'll be probably 14 degrees. So
Yeah,
but
something like
I'm looking forward to that, and Mandy's looking forward to it. So thanks again, Tron.
No worries.
Remember, you guys can always follow me on Instagram, where I'm Travelman Podcast. You got Travelman Ben as well on Instagram, so 2 ways to follow me. You can follow me on Twitter, which is Travelman Pod. Patrick, you got a Twitter too, don't you?
I got a Twitter. You can follow me, but it's all finance related.
That's right. What's your Twitter?
Patrick A. Downs.
Patrick A. Downs.
That's it.
Excellent. Well, if you want to follow some really cool and informative economics,
finance,
commodities stuff.
Yeah.
Really boring to me, but not boring to other people. You can follow Patrick, so follow him at Patrick A. Downs. And that's about it. I got the website, the Travelman Podcast on Wix. I am on Stitcher. I'm on iTunes. I'm on all the best podcasting apps. Still trying to get on to Spotify, which is just a pain in the rear end. But anyway, thanks for listening. Ta-ta.
See ya.
Goodbye.